So when we look at cyber attacks, like there's a massive landscape out there. There's so many different things. So I think it's really useful to look at things from a root cause perspective, like how are these cyber attacks getting successful? And in no particular order, I think they're successful because people don't patch their systems, people have really bad passwords, or they reuse passwords, or they haven't enabled multi-factor authentication, something like that. And then the number one cause, I think, by all measures is social engineering. So phishing emails, phishing attacks, that kind of thing always works. Because the technologies are pretty good nowadays, it's really hard just to go and technically hack into an organization. So the easiest way is you hack a person. So if you can send an email to someone, or you can phone them up or send them a text message and get them to take some action that's not in their best interest, then you've just bypassed, millions of pounds worth of technology. So cybersecurity isn't just an IT function, it's an organizational function. And as part of that, it needs to be embedded within the organizational culture. So it's something that everyone needs to feel responsible for and do their part. And this doesn't mean investing millions and millions into technologies. It can be as simple as the CEO standing up in their briefings and saying, I got attacked by a phishing email, I done this, or I fell for it, or I didn't fall for it. And what that does, even that act alone, takes away the stigma associated with getting attacked or getting fooled by something. Because this isn't something to be embarrassed about, that you accidentally clicked on an email that was from a criminal or something. It's not something to hide, it's something to say, hey, this could happen to anybody. And that's step one of creating that culture of openness. Step two is how do you report that to your teams and have people there that are willing to understand and listen and offer support and say, well, okay, in this scenario, this is what you do and this is what you don't do. You don't have to invest only in technology, but think about the processes you have in place, think about those communication channels, and think about empowering your people to be your extension of your security culture. So one of the big challenges is that security teams tend to view education almost like as a training exercise. So it's like the 10 commandments of cybersecurity, thou shalt not do this or not do this. And that works sometimes in a limited capacity, but what we want is long-term change. What we need to do as organizations is focus on what are the key 2-3 behaviors that really affect us. Maybe it's phishing emails. Maybe it's strangers wandering into the office and wandering out again. So work out what those are and then specifically target those behaviors. And this won't happen overnight. Behavior change, changing that culture and the environment of the office takes time. So it's about being more repetitive. Involve comms teams in it because they're very good at knowing how to deliver messaging. So think of it more as a marketing campaign. You want to change behaviors, you want to do it over a long period of time. One of the best ways to embed a culture is to get people involved. And within the organization, if you look across, there's some people that will be more inclined towards helping with cybersecurity. So find those people, identify them, and make them your security champions. You get intel from the ground, like what's working, what's not working. And for them, they're adding additional skills to their resume as well, and they're learning something. So it ends up being a win-win. Having something like a password meter or a smiley face, so when someone's typing in a new password, that face goes from sad to happy, the stronger the password gets, is a really good way of encouraging people or just nudging them towards hey, this is a good security behavior, why don't you take it? And people really like that kind of feedback. So if they're getting the feedback, they know they're doing something right, and it is quite rewarding as well. It's just a part of getting everyone involved and everyone looking out for each other, because the security teams, no matter how big your organization is or how big your security team is, it's never going to have enough resources. So unless you can leverage the entire organization, all the people within it, you're always going to be at a disadvantage. If there's one thing you want to do better in cybersecurity, it's educate your workforce. Let them know these are the threats out there, this is the value of the data that we hold, this is how we protect it, and this is how you report anything. I think if we can just get that in place, that will be worth far more than an extensive like technical implementation.